And they never do anything but look at you and wait for you to talk.
Well,
why must you be entertaining? Because we were born to entertain.
We were born to. You can't avoid it. You're on.
You mean there's no physical way of stopping you?
No.
Now listen, Judy and I went into that party last night. I was absolutely exhausted because a big opening night. I'd been rehearsing during the day. I'd been working frightfully hard these last few weeks. And I went to the theatre, sat through the ordeal of the first night. It is always an ordeal. However successful you are, you always hope and are nervous inside and everything. It went wonderfully. I was very happy. I came back here and washed my face and hands, had a drink. And then I thought, no, this must be done properly because everybody's got this is my performance. I had to start giving a performance at this hour of the night. Judy came into the party. I got there a little before her. Judy arrived and immediately became Judy Garland. Stopped being Judy. I was no more Noel. I was Noel Coward. Debonair, witty, charming.
And I was Dorothy Adorable.
And you were just Dorothy Adorable. And we smiled, and we took the children photographed with them. We smiled here. We were such good sorts.
Huh?
And do you know, to go on being a good sort in public for a long time is very wearing. Because we weren't feeling good sorts at all. What we wanted to do was to come back here, which ultimately we did.
Put on some slacks and sit around in the floor.
Take our shoes off and have a drink and discuss the show. That's what was really interesting us. But it was done. And always during the war, in all the concerts I did for all these troops, good, bad, or indifferent, the only thing that I dreaded, and I had to go to, the party after the show given by the commanding officer. When I'd done sometimes 5 concerts in a day in the heat of Burma, and the officer would say, now you've got to come along, and you'd have to be very particularly nice to the commanding officer. Boring though he may have been, or amiable though he may have been. Then they'd say, after they've given you a couple of drinks and you're really beginning to relax, what about giving us a couple of extra numbers? And you want to clobber them. You're dead. You say yes.
You do it.
You do it.
And you know,
and you go home
I'm getting
screaming.
so old, I wonder why I do it anymore, but I still do. I suppose it's something we never...
We're show people.
I suppose, because I remember one night I was recording in London, and I recorded for hours. Kay was there, and I really, I sing terribly loud and just all of these loud songs. I did about 5 or 6 recordings, which means you do them over and over. So I probably recorded for about 4 or 5 hours. And a party was given for me afterwards by
somebody who should be nameless.
And she had arranged to give me this party and had asked if she could give me it. It was really rather sweet. And I got there late because I'd been held up in the recordings, and I called and apologized. I said I'd get there as soon as I could. I got there and everyone had eaten. And there were just sort of remains on the table, awful strings of cold ham and wilted lettuce. But I was so hungry that I'd take anything. And I think the hostess said, now, I'll get you some food. She brought me this miserable plate of food and then said, now, Kay is at the piano and everybody's been waiting for you to sing. And I said, but I've just been singing for 5 hours, It didn't make any sense. And I went and we sang for another 3 hours. We really did. And went home on our hands and knees, just so tired. But they really were standing like statues, and they'd been there all evening.
And getting it for nothing. Getting it for nothing. But then there is something to balance. But there's something to balance that. Well, if you were not you wouldn't they wouldn't want to use you. You see, you've got to take the bad with the good. The fact that they were all waiting there.
Yes, it was kind of marvelous, too.
The wonderful thing of if we could persuade her to sing, fine, wonderful. What is irritating is to be taken for granted that you're going to do it, hell or high water, when you've been working. This is maddening. But of course, it is no use ever expecting society to understand about show business, because they never do. They will say, will you please sing? And so you say, well, my conscience isn't here, but I'll sing. And as you start, everybody starts to talk.
Oh, darling, May, don't do that.
Well, I did. I'll tell you one little story that happened to me during the war. I had been in the canal zone outside Cairo, and I'd done 5 hospitals. And when I did a hospital, it meant that I gave a concert in the outpatient and went through every single ward. And the wards I couldn't sing in, I talked to every man. And I'd done 5 in the heat of summer in Cairo. I got back, and I was staying with the High Commissioner, and found a message saying, King Farouk wishes to see you this evening and wishes to giving a party, and will you come? So I obediently had a shower and got myself into a white dinner jacket and went off. And there was one of the most boring social parties I've ever seen, with King Farouk covered in metal. And my eye caught a very nasty-looking upright piano, and I thought, hello. And King Farouk then came up to me very courteously and said, Mr. Coward, would you sing us a few songs? I've been singing with an accompanist, and I don't like singing playing to myself unless I'm well rehearsed, but I thought, well, it's discourteous to say no, so I said, fine. So I went to the piano, and I sang a number, and everybody was fairly attentive, but sort of restless. So I was trying to get these lyrics over. And then I started off on Night and Day, which was one of my, I can play that very well, and I got a good arrangement of it. And I did the drip, drip, drip of the raindrop and everything, and then everybody got quiet, except King Farouk, who was sitting about as near to me as you are, with a lady, and he was saying, well, there's a... And so I got to the chorus and lost my temper. And I went, in the roaring traffic's boom, in the silence! And he stopped dead, and there was a terrible hush. And then I said, of my lonely room I think of you. He never spoke again.
That's marvelous.
Was the keyboard, Noel, of this upright facing the wall?
No, it
and
was.
The people were behind you.
No, it was, but I had it pulled out.
It's always, invariably,
So you do a point number,
and you're playing there.
Yes.
with all the people behind you, so they can't see you at all.
An upright piano is the enemy.
They're very nasty
of the
invention.
performance. Yeah.
Does any connection at all between the feeling that, when you're in track, you feel you can go on anyway, even because people expect that a remark you made in the autobiography, where you said that theatrical people are notoriously facile of emotion and frequently victimized by their own foolish sentimentality. I wonder whether it's a good deal in this too, that people who are so involved professionally with emotion are much too easily awakened in that sense. They feel obligations when none really exist.
Oh, but the obligation certainly exists. No, what I meant by that was, if you would, in the continuation of that, it was the theatrical party. Now, listen, if there's a theatrical party, you can't keep Judy or me away from the piano, because we're among our own friends, and we have a ball. Kay and I and Judy have sung for hours, but this is to 5 or 6 people who love us and who join in with it. And that particular chapter, why I said they were facile of emotions was that it was a very touching moment.